So I changed the wall behind me. That's not important at all in this moment, and the wall's also not done. I just wanted to sit here. So you guys saw the title, and I honestly did not think that I would ever make a video like this. For years, you guys have asked me, what do I do? My wife, my husband, my spouse, my partner, they have relapsed and they're on drugs. What do I do? And for years, I just thought, oh, I don't know. I can't believe that you're going through that. That's horrible. I couldn't imagine. And I never knew what to say to you guys. When it comes to a partner a person that you're in a relationship with, I never knew what to say to that because I never experienced that in my recovery until now. So let me start this with saying everyone is safe. Everyone's okay in this moment. This has been one of the most heartbreaking years for me in recent memory. This has been just awful. Reece relapsed around 8 months ago or so. Well, maybe earlier. I found out 8 months ago. He relapsed on cocaine. At first I thought, holy shit, that's a slip, a bad weekend, a mistake, and it's okay, we got this. We can figure this out. We can fix this. Then I thought like, oh, it was just a bad week, bad couple of weeks. That was a really bad month, but it's okay, and we can fix it. So in a nutshell, Rhys has been struggling in his addiction on and off for 8 months. Now, this has been obviously very traumatic for me to see him go through detox in hotels, to see him high. I never in a million years thought that I'd be here right now. I never thought that my situation would be this. I never thought he would struggle like this. And maybe that's very foolish of me to say because we both have a past with substance use disorder and we both struggled for a long time, right? So maybe it's really foolish for me to think that I would have never been in this situation, but you guys have heard a lot of his stories. He is a combat war veteran. He was a Army Ranger in the 173rd Airborne Division, you know, Army Ranger because Marines need heroes too. And he was first on the ground in Iraq. And because of that, he has a lot of PTSD, severe PTSD. And I'm very grateful that he has shared some of those stories with you. I can't speak for him, but I can kind of speculate because of, you know, the conversations that we've had and my experience with PTSD as well, is that I think both he and I thought we could just outwork our trauma if we just hustle and work like dogs and just grind and go from homeless to successful, then all that other stuff doesn't really matter because we've come so far. So like, yeah, that really traumatic shit happened in the past, but we can just outwork it. For a long time, if I didn't talk about what I went through, then it didn't happen. Well, after a while, I realized that, holy shit, what I went through with having a baby in chains in prison was actually extremely traumatic and I never dealt with it. I'm saying that to say this. I think that in large part, Rhys thought he could outwork that. And if he just gets enough time away from what he experienced in Iraq, that he would be okay. So he really is struggling with his PTSD, struggling with his mental health. And it's not just one thing that he's struggling with, right? It's a combination of a lot of things. He is the strongest, smartest, most charismatic person I have ever met in my entire life. And I know that he can pull himself out of this. And I also know that I can't do anything to speed that along or to make him get help if he doesn't want it. I know that I am not in control. And I know that I have to heal and I have to take care of myself and I have to just focus on my own healing journey. So as you guys know, we have 2 children that are 10 and 6. Well, that means that I've had to make some really difficult decisions because their mental health and their safety come first. So I've had to make some really hard choices. You know, Rhys cannot be here when he's like that. He can't bring anything into the house. I've had to search his things, you know, and I'm not a parole officer and it just felt like I was being a parole officer, but their safety comes first. Rhys would never do anything to hurt these kids. And every time that he has gotten back on one, I guess, I don't know. He's left and he stayed in hotels. You know, there was a time where he was in a hotel for 2 months. It was so hard knowing that he was struggling. You know, I've gone to different hotels over the past 8 months and I've sat with him while he's detoxed. He's even detoxed here before in the basement. And I'm very grateful that we have a whole finished basement far away from, you know, everyone else, where he could detox and be there for a while. And I don't believe in tough love or kicking someone to the curb, but I also believe in taking care of myself and my kids. And he knew that it was not fair to any of us. And, you know, he's not unaware that what he's struggling with is not fair to us. You know, there were a couple of times in the past 8 months where he came back 10 o'clock at night and I made him a bunch of food and he detoxed in the basement, and the second he fell asleep I had to search through all of his things to make sure that there's no drugs in this house. And that is a really hard thing for me to do. I don't want to search through your shit. Like, that sucks, right? A few months ago now, I want to say, I made a video titled "I'm struggling with alcohol," and this is why. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault, but I was hurting and scared and worried and just constantly in a very negative headspace where I was, you know, toxic and trying to get him to give a fuck, basically. I think that in itself was really traumatic for me, because it's not that he doesn't care, it's that the drugs trump everything else. So he does care, but sober Rhys cares. The Rhys that is using drugs will isolate and detach, and there is no getting through to him. And I am the face of, oh, I've fucked up, right? So he doesn't want to see me or talk to me when he's like this. And I'm using present tense because I haven't seen him in days. And this is the pattern that we have gone through all year long. So I was drinking alcohol and I was really struggling with that because I was broken and so hurt and just afraid all the time that I was gonna get a call from cops or a jail or a hospital. I was very scared and on edge all the time. And I'm working through that, and I am doing a lot better with alcohol. So I am working on healing my own triggers and my own toxic behavior, because I am not perfect. I am not perfect in this relationship. I'm not a perfect person, a perfect mom. I'm doing the best that I can. We're all in therapy. I believe in therapy for everyone. Yes, even your kids. And I've been going to therapy on and off, and also reading a lot of books about codependency and boundaries. And I'm doing everything that I can to take care of myself, which is the most important thing. And I'm doing everything that I can to take care of my kids and make sure that they are mentally healthy and in a good space. And I don't want them to be in a toxic environment. So until he is better, he can't be here. And that, I never thought that I would have to make decisions like this. I never thought that I would have to protect my kids from their father. And I would never, I like, even saying that out loud, it doesn't seem real to me, because he's such a good father and he's such a good person. He's such a good guy. He's just struggling right now. And I know he's gonna get better, and I know everything's gonna be okay. But it really fucking sucks right now. So that is why my upload schedule has been hit or miss. That's why I was struggling with alcohol. Not that that is his fault. My bad behaviors, my triggers, my struggle with alcohol a few months ago is not his responsibility. And if you take nothing else from this video, please know that someone else's shitty behavior is not your fault and it's not your responsibility. Please know that. And again, I do think that a lot of things contributed to Rhys getting to where he is right now. He left a job that he had for 7 years, and he loved his people, and he's a great leader. That was a very difficult decision for him. You know, as you guys heard in that video where he talked about leaving his job, he didn't agree with a lot of the decisions that upper management made. That doesn't change the fact that that was a very hard decision for him, and he loved his people, and he poured everything that he had into making a failing office profitable. So leaving was a hard decision, and I think he took it really hard. I think he felt like he let a lot of people down. Plus his mental health and his PTSD is really bad right now. He knows that he needs help, and we've tried to get him help. He's a veteran, as you guys know, and the VA has taken absolutely for fucking ever to get him into treatment. So when I called to make him his initial appointment, we had to wait 2.5 weeks for that initial assessment, which is a 90-minute assessment, and then they figure out what you need, right? Well, after that 2-week wait period, they didn't schedule another assessment for him for 2 weeks. They didn't help him on the first assessment. So you have one assessment and then a second assessment for whatever they say that you need, and then you're put on a wait list. It takes forever, and we didn't have that kind of time. Veterans should not have to wait months for help, and it is so sad. So on Friday, Reece texted me and told me that he called a bunch of treatment centers and he found one in Florida that he was supposed to go to. Yesterday, he was supposed to get on the plane and he didn't show. So we're hoping that he books another flight and goes down there and starts treatment. And I'll keep you guys updated, but I know that he can pull himself out of this. It's just not gonna be on my timeline. I have no control over it. And that is a hard pill to swallow for me, because I just wish that love could fix it. I wish that I could just fix it and take all of that pain away from him and make him not ever struggle with this again. I wish that I could do that, but I know that I can't. So my advice, if you are struggling with this and you're in a similar situation as I am, you have 2 small kids, my advice to you is make sure that they're taken care of first. Make sure that you are not unintentionally having them in a toxic situation where, you know, you're fighting and yelling and upset and crying over this in front of them. Make sure that you know that there are no drugs in your house. Make sure that you set firm boundaries with the person that is using. Make sure that they know those boundaries, and make sure that you do not compromise those boundaries. It is very hard to deal with a person that is in active addiction. It is very hard, and they will try everything that they can to get you to do whatever they want. Last but not least, this is the most important component to what to do if your partner is using drugs. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you are putting the work in to understand your triggers, to really understand boundaries and what that means for you, to understand codependency, and to know the signs of a codependent relationship or a toxic relationship or a narcissistic relationship. Make sure that you are putting the work in to heal yourself, because we cannot pour from an empty cup. We can't help someone if we are on the verge of a whole ass mental breakdown, which is very common when you're dealing with what I'm dealing with. And make sure that you have a support group as well. I love Al-Anon. I know I've talked about that in the past, probably not recently, but Al-Anon is a great resource for family members of addicts. It's kind of like the 12-step program. You go, you know, for an hour, a couple of times a week, or every day if you want to. And it's family members going through the same shit that you're going through. And it is such a good way to understand I'm not in control. I can't spend my life worrying and chasing them around and like begging them to get sober. That's not gonna work. It helps a lot. Your mental health, your baby's mental health and their safety comes first. That comes first. And along the way, you're going to have to make really hard decisions to make sure that you're keeping them safe. Make those hard decisions. Do what's best for yourself and do what is best for your kids. I've really struggled with sitting down and making this video for a long time. It's weird. I feel, you know, kind of paralyzed to make decisions. And one day I'm like, it's not the right time, or it's not my story to share. Then on the other hand, I know that this is also my story. This is something that I am also going through. And I now have a whole new understanding of what it is like to deal with someone in active addiction when you're dead sober. It is zero fun. As someone that has gone through both sides, active addiction and now this side of it, it is so much harder to love someone that is using drugs. This is so painful, and I didn't understand it completely until now. Because you can tell me all you want how difficult it was to deal with me in active addiction, but there's no way I would really understand that unless I have experienced it firsthand. I know some people will say that I made the right decision by making this video. I know some people will tell me that I shouldn't have made this video, but I've been waiting 8 months to tell you guys that this has been really hard for me, and it was supposed to be the happiest year of our life. We were supposed to get married this year. Reece was supposed to adopt Micah this year. This was supposed to be such a happy year. One of the best years in our relationship, and it has turned out to be the worst year in our relationship. The girls and I are okay, and every night we play board games and we jam out to music and we do art and we're living our best life, because I know tomorrow's not promised for me and I'm going to have a good, happy time with my kids. If you are struggling with addiction, or you know someone that is struggling with addiction, I am a partner with Groups Recover Together. They are both online and in person. They believe in harm reduction. They're 420 friendly and the most understanding team of people that I have ever met in my life. And if Groups can't help you because they're not in your state, they will try their absolute best to find someone that can help you. I always leave all of my contact information with groups in the description box of every single video. There's a website and a hotline number that you guys can call if you need help. One more thing. I am still going to film my regular content because I enjoy filming content, and I have art videos for the vlog channel and Invisalign update because you guys keep asking, and I'm not going to let this consume my every waking thought, and I'm going to continue to push on and do all the things that make me happy, like filming videos for you guys. So don't think that I am disappearing. There's going to be a lot more content coming your way, especially now that I am finally in a little bit of a better headspace. And as soon as he is in treatment, which I know that he will, I know that he'll get the help that he needs, I will update you guys. I'm gonna end today's video here. As always, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay in recovery, whatever that looks like to you. If you are struggling with a spouse, partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, that is an active addiction, please take care of you. Take care of you because your mental health matters too. Bye, you guys.